Mulai.
I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. First, let me explain to you all the framings and the goal of our team. Let me clarify that we do agree that gamblers need to be rehabilitated, but it does not mean that the punishment is eliminated. We want them to be punished proportionally to the degree of the crime that they have contributed to. In our side, rehabilitation is still part of the criminal justice system to ensure that the perpetrators are reconstructed. Before I start my argument, let me clarify that all my rebuttals will be integrated in my speech. So, my first argument is that they say that gambling is not considered as a crime, but my first layer will tackle and explain why it is classified as a crime, because it fulfills these three criteria. The first one is that those individuals are well informed on what activity that is considered illegal. Gambling in any form is a violation as it promotes uncertainty and fraud. Second, it downgrades the government effort in giving education and proper jobs. These individuals are mostly from those who are aware and are mostly workers, so they do have the money to bet. It is an irrational decision created leading to supporting the fraud. Lastly, it has harms for both the individuals and others. Why? Because you will fall into a systematic chain that you cannot neglect. The debt is a lot. This also puts you into another crime, as you might to fraud or steal money as you need to repay your debt. You will also put your family in a risk as well, as you will sell and bet everything that you have. They might have to lose their chance to study and be happy. Even though they say that gambling is caused by the government system, it does not mean that they have to take the unprotected way that is out of the government's control. The government claims that people gamble because they are poor and lack jobs, so punishing them ignores this national background. But we say that poverty does not justify committing a crime. Many poor people do not gamble. Instead, they look for work, start micro businesses, or rely on state assistance. Gambling is a choice, not an inevitability. If we accept the government's logic, then stealing out of poverty should also not be a crime. But society maintains it as a crime precisely because it harms others and normalizes damaging behavior. What we debate here is what to do when someone crosses into harmful illegal activity, not whether poverty exists or not. So for my second layer, I will talk about why it is better in the status quo and in our team. Because of these three reasons. The first one is that the current system already has measures to address poverty and social failure. Most governments do provide welfare, job programs, or state rehabilitation centers. And though we do acknowledge that it is imperfect, it is still help a lot of people. Imprisonment is not our only response. It is the final accountability mechanism when offenders violate laws by available alternatives. For example, many countries run state-sponsored job training, unemployment benefits, or addiction counseling. But in those countries, people still gamble. Second, imprisonment protects society from second-order harms while other reforms work in parallel. Poverty reform is long-term. Meanwhile, law enforcement is immediate. Handling poverty needs long processes, such as creating stable law for investors and providing training that might be adaptable. However, it does not negate the action that is already harmful. It is a strong reminder. In the government side, gamblers will keep excusing that the system does not work, but in our side, they are at least given a strong action to stop the irrational actions. Lastly, no punishment means that there will be false hope that is happening, because training skill is expected to make them instantly successful or at least have a better life. Well, in fact, it is also hard as they need to compete and do trial and error for job applications. There is no certainty that they will be helped because labor markets are competitive with no certainty that trainees will get jobs. And legal jobs often provide less income than the perceived easy money of gambling, so offenders are likely to relapse. Even though it is true that they get income, yet the income that they get might not be as promising as gambling. Thus, punishment needs to be enacted to eliminate the comparison of gambling and the skills that they have installed. If no punishment is enacted, the perception of gambling will be false and the deterrence loses because of these four reasons. First, they think that gambling is a valid hope that they can try to break the poverty. Giving training will only validate that it is the mistake of the government and not only the individuals. Thus, there is no individual evaluation and internalization of new value from the training. Second, rehabilitation works better when embedded in accountability structures. If someone commits fraud or neglects family due to gambling, there must be proportional punishment to signal responsibility. Rehabilitating them as victims removes deterrence and undermines fairness towards actual victims, like spouses, children, and default individuals. Thirdly, criminal labels are necessary because society must distinguish between those who choose to harm others and those who do not. Without this, the moral distinction between responsible citizens and offenders collapses. In fact, rehabilitation within prison is possible. The correctional system provides addiction therapy and skill training while still upholding justice. Government falsely assumes that jail is only punishment, when in practice it is punishment plus rehabilitation. Lastly, losing money is inherent in gambling itself. It hasn't stopped millions from trying. Social stigma is weak because gambling is often normalized culturally, like lotteries and sports betting. Only legal punishment provides a strong external deterrence. The deterrence is better in our side since they will lose their job and be isolated. Their ability to gamble is taken through jail and punishment. Now hear me out. Here's the comparison. On the government side, offenders will externalize blame into the system, so they lack motivation to change internally. But in the opposition side, in our side, punishment plus training creates real accountability, ensuring the offenders reflect on the choices while being rehabilitated. So you should support our motions instead of theirs. That is all from me.